Okay, this is going to be a very strange video to make, and it's probably going to shock a lot of you and not surprise a lot of you. So a lot of people have been leaving comments on my videos talking about, are you a witch? I see all the jewelry, the rings, the crystals, the tattoos, you dress in black all the time, what's going on? I'm here to tell you right now, well, here's my explanation. This video, I don't know what I'm gonna make the title, so maybe you know by the title, maybe you don't. I am a medium. I can see spirits and communicate with the dead. I have done it many times, and I've done it pretty much my entire life. There is a reason why I have a Ouija eye tattooed onto my arm, and it is because I am the human version of a Ouija board. I can see spirits, I can hear spirits, smell spirits, and talk to spirits, and I have done that my whole life. This video is basically going to be me showing you or telling you a list of circumstances that I've been in that have involved ghosty stuff. And this is just gonna be almost like a highlight reel. It's an endless list that I probably have many experiences that I've even forgotten about. This one, however, is going to be just the main ones that I remember off the top of my head. So the first one that I thought about, there was an apartment that I lived in back when TikTok was actually Musical.ly, and I had a Musical.ly account. So I was maybe like 12 years old, and maybe 13, 12 or 13 years old. And I was one night in the middle of the night laying in bed, and I woke up and I heard a woman's voice, and there's just this woman standing by my door. So imagine a woman standing right here, okay? She was standing right here, and I mean, I didn't live here, of course, I just moved into this apartment, but just picture it, okay? She was standing by the door, just standing there, very poised, standing. She was just wearing a dress, staring at me. And then I sat up and I looked at her and she just went. And then I got scared. I put the covers over my head and I went back to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and she was gone and there was no trace of her. That one's not really that scary. It was just the moment that I kind of freaked out for the first time and I saw a spirit, and I was very scared and weirded out until I found out that there are people like that. Another one that I can talk about, one involves my ancestor. I refer to ancestors as family members who have passed. So if I had a dead brother, I would refer to them still as an ancestor because I would refer to a relative as someone who's alive. Relatives are alive, ancestors are dead. I know that's not technically the definition, that's just what I do personally, so don't come for me. But I have a great aunt named Claudia. What happened was she was battling cancer for a very long time, and eventually, you know, her time ran out, unfortunately. However, one night I had a dream that she was playing the piano and she was playing a specific song. It was that one song that was, it was Take Me On. The Take On Me, I'll be that song, except she was playing it very slow and on the piano. And then after that, she looked at me and she said, Jaden, you need to tell Aaron, da 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 da. So I woke up and I went and I told my grandma about the dream, found out that that song is apparently very important to the two of them, that like that song was something they would like scream the lyrics to that song driving down the highway because they were best friends. She's my great aunt, but she's technically not blood related to me. They were just best friends. So she was my great aunt. Anyways, that was a song that was very important to them, and she also always wanted to learn how to play the piano. She just never did. However, I went and I told my brother this, and this advice was something he really needed with a relationship that he was in that just was not healthy for him. And I told him this advice, and I told him Claudia in a dream told me to say this, and he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because at that point, I didn't realize that that was her talking to me, communicating with me through dreams. And so he kind of disregarded it until later, one day, that advice just made too much sense to him. And so he applied it to his life and actually made a huge improvement in the way that he was living his life and the way that things were happening for him. Another instance, I went on a vacation to San Diego. I stayed in a beach house that was maybe about 100 yards from a beach in San Diego, and I stayed there with my family, with my household, also with my grandparents and my aunt. My aunt is also very sensitive, we'll just say. My grandma is also kind of sensitive, and my stepmom was also sensitive. I'm the only one that could like see them. My aunt could sense them, and then my grandma and my stepmom, they both just knew something was off. And so My aunt and I had tried to figure out, there were a lot of just weird things that were happening in that beach house. One of them was just that, you know, there was this nursery on the 3rd story. And I don't know, it was a 3rd story building, really weird, but it was on the 3rd story, there was a nursery, and the closet to the nursery connected to the closet of the master bedroom so that the parents and like the baby could be in separate rooms, but like easily accessible. That nursery room creeped the shit out of everybody in the entire house. It was just weird. And I remember walking in there, I went upstairs and I was like, Angeline, I am not going upstairs. And she was like, why? And I was just like, that nursery and the hallway leading to it and the loft space and all that stuff that's on the 3rd floor creeps me out and I don't like it and I'm not going near it. And she was like, Jaden, you think everything's haunted? And she went up there and she was like, oh, yeah, I don't like it up here. The first night went by and Angeline had, my stepmother, Angeline, she had reported that she apparently felt the blankets being tugged off of her feet over and over and over again and heard little pitter-patter footsteps. So what I did was I decided I was gonna do some investigating and I found out that there were 2 children and my aunt had agreed with me too. There were 2 children, a boy and a boy and his younger sister. The boy was maybe about 7 years old and the sister was maybe like 5 or 6. And I had discovered that they actually had drowned in the ocean when they were on a trip with their family. I don't know how many years ago before I was there. I never asked them and never tried to figure that out, but I just know they drowned in the ocean and they were staying at that house with their family. So when they drowned, they came back to the house and their family was gone and they were scared. So they just stayed there hoping that one day their family would come back. And they would run around, they'd cause mischief, they're children. And there would be many, many times where, for instance, one night I was asleep in bed and I heard them running around and I sleep with an eye mask because I'm a light sleeper, so when the sun comes up and I'm not sleeping in a dark room, I'm up and I can't go back to sleep, so I sleep with an eye mask. Took the eye mask off and I saw the little girl standing at the foot of my bed and she's very timid, she doesn't like to come out, she doesn't want to be seen. So when she saw that I saw her, she froze. And I was just like, sweetheart, I know you're just trying to have fun, but you are scaring people and it's not nice and we can't keep doing this. I'm not gonna force you to leave and I'm not gonna be mean to you and I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but you have to let people sleep at night and you have to stop pulling pranks and make like jokes. Like, we can't do that anymore. And I remember her face, it was so sweet. She just, okay, I'm sorry. And I just looked at her and I was like, sweetheart, it's okay. You don't have to, don't be scared, don't be upset, don't be anything. It's okay. I'm just letting you know you are scaring people because you're trying to be silly at nighttime. And people don't like that because I'm the only one that can see you. And she said, okay, I'll stop. And then she like ran out of the room giggling and her brother ran down the hallway and chased her. And they were just gone for the night and they left people alone that night apparently. And that was like my first true interaction with them face to face. And then there was another time at that San Diego house where there was, we were all sitting in the living room. And the living room has a door to a staircase that leads up to the 3rd story where the master bedroom is. And so we were all sitting in the living room and we were all talking about the ghost children, and half of that family was thinking that they were real, the other half thought ghosts didn't exist. The kids didn't like that. They got very upset. They slammed the door that led to the upstairs where their bedroom was, and I opened the door and that staircase was chilled, like ice, like 40 degrees. Mind you, it's a beach house in San Diego. There's no air conditioning because beach homes in San Diego, their temperatures, like there are heaters. There's no AC because it never gets warmer than like 80 degrees outside. So if it gets hot in your house, open a window. There's no air conditioning. There's no way that hallway would have dropped like 20 degrees in temperature, except for those children after they slammed the door and got angry and they ran upstairs because they thought that people were discrediting their existence. So I followed them, I went upstairs, they ran into the nursery and they started crying and I was just like, hey, don't be upset, you are real. We know you're real, they just don't understand. They aren't willing or capable of understanding, but I understand. It is okay, you're loved, you're appreciated, you are real, it's okay. And then they felt better and they, you know, went about their thing. But from that point forward, my whole family, they started questioning. They were like, wait a second. They were right? Because they actually saw, the skeptics saw a door slam and it got freezing cold with no way to explain it. No scientific way to explain it. So, another time too, I was sitting down in my apartment, the one I lived in before this one, with my now current roommate, Jamie. Why did my brain just like blank? Also known as Vanilla Bean Cream 27 on TikTok, so you might have seen her in some of my videos. But I was sitting down doing a tarot reading for her, and out of nowhere, her sister shows up, who she had talked about me trying to contact and like clear the air a little bit and talk about some things. Her sister had passed at a young age. It was very difficult for the family, very difficult for Jamie. There was a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of issues, but eventually she just showed up, and I looked at Jamie and I was like, Jamie, does your sister's name start with a J? She was like, yeah. And I had looked at her again. I was like, I'm gonna just rapid fire some random names. I'm gonna stop myself when I think I got it, okay? She was like, okay. And I was like, James, Jen, Jess, Jessica, Julia, Julius, Julian. And Jamie had said, she was like, her name was Julia and we called her Jules. And so I told her, I was like, she's here. She's right there. I mean, I was sitting down and nobody's actually right here. There's nobody in this room right now. But I said, I was just like, she's right there. She was right behind me. She came in and it sparked a whole 2-hour-long conversation where I was just the medium. I was mediating between the living and the deceased, and I was trying to clear the air and give them the information so that they could have a conversation, because I was the only one able to hear Jules. I was able to hear Jamie, but Jamie couldn't hear Jules, but I could hear Jules. So I was trying to relay information over and over again, and there were a few times where I was just like, hey, so I'm just getting this sense, like, did she ever call you like Love Bug? And Jamie started crying. I was like, it was literally her nickname for me. She called me that all the time. I was like, yeah, she keeps on calling you Love Bug. And then started bringing up other just things that like, I like to try and clear skepticism when I'm talking to someone and mediating for them by, instead of taking the information the person's giving me and applying it to the dead person, because some people could be like, well, you're just telling me what I want to hear. I make sure that I incorporate some random things that I know that there's no way that they told me, to try and add that extra layer, you know, of like, okay, this is real. Because a lot of people don't believe me, and that's fine. I believe me. That's really all that matters to me. And I've done it so many times that I don't really need someone to prove to me whether or not I see spirits, because it's a lot. I don't need someone telling me I don't see them when I'm waking up at 3 in the morning to some man looming over me being like, hey, are you the one that the others were telling me about that you can help me like cross over? Because I have no idea why I'm here and I just need help. I'm so sick of being here. I'm just like, let's go. I'm gonna go make some tea. The final one actually happened last night. There was a little boy, he was 11 years old, his name was Toby. He was looking for his mom for, I think he said 50 years. He and his mother died in an accident of some sort, and his mom had actually crossed over, and she was waiting for him for 50 years, and he got lost, and he was hoping he'd find his mom, but never did. But he found me. I told him that his mom was waiting for him, to which, in another video, another day, I'll explain how I knew this, but as of right now, this is all you're getting. But yeah, like, you know, one of my friends is also kind of sensitive, and she gets weird twitches when she feels like there's some energy presence that's not supposed to be there. And so she was getting really anxious and twitchy, and because she could feel him there. And there were times where like earlier that day where she heard giggling in the office, but the door was locked. And then I walk out of the bedroom because they thought it was me recording videos in the office. And then I would like walk out of the bedroom 20 minutes later and they'd be like, you weren't in the office? And then I went in and found Toby in there and was like, great, here we go. The job's never over, I guess. But then the other thing too of like random lights just shutting off or turning back on, or he would, things would just disappear, like get misplaced out of nowhere, or the seatbelt of Tegan's car got caught in his door and then the car wouldn't unlock, and then it finally unlocked and then the latch flew back and it was this whole ordeal. Just random manipulation that is created from those spirits being present, because they think that they're in the physical world, so they act as if they are, when they're not. So when they touch something or they do something that they think is normal, they're actually messing with things that they don't even realize they're messing with. And it happens a lot because some spirits do know, they have the intelligence to know that they're dead, and other times they don't. They just think that people are ignoring them, or they don't even notice people are there. They're just so in their own world, wandering around and have no idea. It just depends. And intelligent doesn't mean that they're not smart, it just means intelligent hauntings or intelligent spirits usually refer to spirits that are a lot more self-aware that they are dead, or just self-aware of their existence or their place in the universe. There are my ghost stories, I guess. I have plenty more. Those are just probably the more exciting, I guess. The ones that are a lot more of a story and they're not so much just a random interaction. Oh wait, bitch. Bitch. Listen to this one. This is the last one, okay? I totally forgot about this one until just now. There was one night that I was laying in my bed, back when I lived with my parents in Chandler, Arizona. Nope, this was in Scottsdale. So this was maybe when I was like 15, no, 16. I was 16 when this happened. I was laying in bed and there was a woman. She was just a shadow. I couldn't see her face or anything like that. She had messy, like scraggly, like hair. I don't know how to explain it other than it was like a mess of hair that just went down to like maybe like right here, but it was super messy hair in her silhouette, and she was rubbing my chest, and she was just like, shh, 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 it's okay, you're gonna be okay, everything's fine. And I couldn't move. It was like sleep paralysis, but she was super soft and gentle, which is not something that happens during sleep paralysis. It's usually the worst thing your brain can come up with. So I knew she wasn't sleep paralysis because she was being nice and gentle and sweet. And eventually she ran her hand like up my chest over to my armpit, to this armpit here, and just grabbed it really tight and dug her nails into me, and I jolted awake gasping, and she was gone. And I had 5 bloody nail marks left here. And I know it couldn't be this hand here, because the fact is that it was actually where the thumb was right here and the other 4 fingers were right here. So it was like this, and she just dug her nails into me, and I woke up with 5 bloody marks on my armpit. That is not sleep paralysis, but she told me it was gonna be okay, and she jolted me awake for some reason. And I have not seen her since, and I have no idea why she was there, or if she was trying to save me for something, or what her purpose was in that situation. All I know is that I appreciate her a lot. That is officially the end of the video here. Thank you to everybody that has watched. I just want to let you know that I do have merch that is linked on my TikTok at Confused Artichoke, or on my Instagram if you follow me on either one of those two. It is linked there. There are 1,013,150 words in the entire English dialect. That merch, as well as the Let's Go Hide a Body merch from my 2 series that I've had on TikTok before in the past. The Hide a Dead Body merch is available for 5 days from today until it closes, and the Hide a Dead Body is 5 days. Hit You With a Chair is 9 days from today's upload date. So if you watch this video after that time frame, they're not going to be available anymore. So please do go and support it. It is going to help charity for the holidays, so please go support it. Also, if you don't know who I am and you're seeing my video on YouTube and you've never seen me anywhere else, I have 1.8, almost 1.9 million followers on TikTok and 50,000 or so on Instagram. So that's where I come from, is that world. So please go follow me there if you haven't seen my face before. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me, and share this with somebody if they're really into ghosty stuff, or if you just want to support me and maybe hope that the YouTube algorithm would like me. Please. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support if you made it this far in the video, and I will see you guys in a couple of days with my next upload. Love you. Bye.